4-year-old Kolya woke up from rumbling in his stomach. My stomach didn't even growl, but just shrank from hunger. He got up and walked past his sleeping mother into the kitchen. There was a mess around. He stepped over empty bottles, some wrappers, and only thought that there was at least something left in the kitchen. When he got to the kitchen, he looked around. Dirty dishes in the sink, dirty dishes on the table. There was no sign in the bread basket, but he had hope for her. He pulled up a chair and opened the cupboard, in search of at least a piece of bread. But the bread box was empty. There were crumbs all around her. He picked them up and ate them, and immediately a terrible taste of old moldy bread formed in his mouth. Kolya sighed sadly, got off the stool, and went into the room. Maybe yesterday's guests left something in some of the empty bags there. But even here he was disappointed. Then Kolya decided to wake up his mother. He quietly approached her and gently patted her on the shoulder. Mom didn't wake up. He got scared and started pushing her harder. Mom opened her eyes, waved her hand at him, not forgetting to swear, and turned away to the wall to continue sleeping. Then he heard the key turn in the lock. This is his salvation. It's definitely Dad coming. And then he heard, "I'm home." Kolya ran up to him and hugged him. But after Kolya, the mother came out into the corridor and attacked her husband. She screamed a lot, blamed her father for walking somewhere unknown, and having walked up he came. That all the women got tired of you and decided to come home. Have you remembered your family? Why did you come? Cat, what are you doing? I was on a flight and just arrived. I only have a few hours of time, and I'm coming straight to you. You truckers are all the same. Get out of here and don't come back. He's got a few hours. Get out. Kalenka was frightened by the scream and ran away to hide in the kitchen. Ivan turned to his wife. Shut up. Look, I scared the child with my scream. Of course, it's all my fault, not yours. You're the only one who's right with us. Go away. This is my parents' apartment, and I'm going to divorce you. Ivan turned around, slammed the door in anger and left. Following the slam from the door, Katya heard a crash from the kitchen. It was Kolya who saw the pot in the refrigerator. In the hope that there were leftovers there, he pulled up a stool, stood on it, and, standing on tiptoe, quietly pulled the saucepan towards him. But the slam of the door scared me. He made a sharp movement and spilled the remains of the soup from the pan on himself, and the pan flew to the floor. The already enraged mother came into the kitchen. Seeing this picture, she painfully grabbed Kolya's hand. Get out after your dad. You're nothing but trouble too. I don't need you, and pushed him out the door. The boy sat down on the steps next to the door and quietly, silently began to cry. He didn't even hear a door slam 3 floors up, and someone started coming down the stairs. Olya closed the apartment and went down all immersed in plans. Yesterday she watered the flowers and dusted at her mother's apartment, and today at Nina Vasilyevna's. Mom and Nina Vasilyevna went to rest in a boarding house and asked Olya to take care of the flowers. And since her friends' apartments were located in different parts of the city, she took turns driving. Olya was glad that she had done everything early today and had a free day and a weekend. The plans included walks in the park and the embankment, a trip to a cafe where her favorite cake was sold. Her thoughts were interrupted when she saw a skinny little boy sitting right on the steps by the door. Baby, what's wrong? Can't you get into the apartment? The boy raised his tear-stained eyes and looked so sad that Olya's heart ached. She saw a thin, tearful boy in dirty clothes that had holes in places. Olya knocked on the door next to which the baby was sitting, but no one opened the door. Not knowing what to do, she asked the boy, "Baby, are you hungry? Come with me. I'll feed you, and we'll wait for your parents." The aunt's voice was very pleasant, but the aunt herself was so beautiful that Kolya could not take his eyes off her. "My name is Aunt Olya. Come with me." And she held out her hand to the boy. The boy got up, took her hand, and they went up the stairs. Having brought the baby into the apartment, Olya decided to bathe him first and quickly wash his clothes. It's summer now, and everything will dry out quickly on the balcony, she thought. After bathing, the boy sat wrapped in a towel on the sofa and watched cartoons. "What's your name, baby?" Olya asked. But in response, the boy only looked at her sadly. Olya did not insist on an answer and went to the kitchen to find something to feed the baby. But Nina Vasilyevna left at home only non-perishable products such as pasta, rice, buckwheat before her vacation. There was a supermarket nearby, and Olya decided to run there. When she entered the room, she saw that the baby had fallen asleep. I quickly hung up his things on the balcony and ran to the store. When she went down past the door where she found the boy, she decided to knock again. A sleepy, untidy woman answered her knock. "What do you need?" she asked in a hoarse voice. "Have you lost the boy?" "I didn't lose anyone. I don't have a husband or a son anymore," she answered loudly and slammed the door. Olya stood in perplexity for a minute and ran to the store. She didn't know what exactly the boy liked, and she didn't have time to choose for a long time. So she grabbed a pack of dumplings, bread, cottage cheese, yogurt, milk, and ran back. When she came home to Nina Vasilievna, she caught her breath and saw that the baby was still sleeping. "That's good," she thought. "So at least I wasn't scared, left alone in someone else's apartment." Kolya woke up to the smell of food. There was a clean t-shirt, shorts and panties lying next to it, but they weren't his. It was Olya who looked into a small department on the way from the grocery store and hastily took it, as well as several cars. Kolya looked at the bright cars as if fascinated. He hasn't had one for a long time. There was once one given by Dad, but Mom hid it somewhere after Dad left. And Olya's voice brought the boy out of his thoughts. "Baby, get dressed and let's go eat." The boy dressed quickly and came to the kitchen. There was a plate of delicious-smelling dumplings in front of him. Fresh bread lay next to it, and a little further away there was a glass of milk. He was so happy and quickly ate and drank everything. He wanted to get up from the table, but Aunt Olya stopped him and put an open yogurt in front of him. And there were 3 more nearby. The baby only tried it once and remembered this taste. One day, a girl treated him to a drink on the playground. Just 1 spoonful, but it was so delicious. And now there is a jar in front of him, and all of it. And there are a few more. He was already thinking where he would hide them in the apartment to eat slowly. Yes, and this one should be stretched for a day. He ate half of it and pushed it away. "Don't you like it?" Aunt Olya asked. Kolya shook his head. "Why aren't you finishing up?" The kid looked at her sadly, and she understood everything. "No need to save money. You still have it, and then I'll buy it for you with a different taste." When they ate, Olya put away the dirty dishes, put the remaining yogurts in a bag, and the empty one in a garbage bag. I also threw the baby's old clothes there, still thinking about why she washed it at all. They held hands and walked out of the apartment. When the door of the house approached, the baby stopped and looked at Olya with sadness and longing. "No, you're not going there. You'll spend the night at my place today, and tomorrow we'll think about what to do. The apartment we were in was not mine, but my mom's friend's, and now we're going to my place." The boy was glad and cheerfully walked up the stairs. Aunt Olya's apartment was spacious, bright, and clean. He walked on it and couldn't get enough of the clean air. "Shall we go for a walk? We'll buy you shoes, otherwise your flip-flops are no good, and it's not enough for you already. And we'll go for a ride on the swing." Kolya nodded happily, grabbed one of the cars, and they went. They went shopping for a long time, and then walked in the park. When the kid came home, he measured new clothes and looked at toys. And Olya went to cook dinner. He watched how deftly Aunt Olya was cooking dinner and felt like in a fairy tale. After dinner, after putting the baby to watch cartoons, Olya began to think what to do. She called Nina Vasilievna and told her everything. "Olya, so this is Kolenka, Vanya's son." "Yes, he lives in that apartment. His mother is worthless. Katka is constantly on a spree, and Ivan is good. He always helps us old people. He doesn't take a penny. Last year, I got a job as a trucker and rarely comes home. He tries everything for the family, but Katya is always a little." Aunt Nin, didn't Kolya always say? "No, he was a very talkative boy, but I haven't seen him for about a year. I used to come with my father when I asked for help." "Olya, your mother and I are coming back in 3 days. You don't have to water the flowers anymore. We'll come and decide what to do." Olya put down the phone and went to Kolya. "Kolenka," she said gently. The boy looked at her questioningly. "Nina Vasilievna told me your name. Your father is probably on a flight, so you're staying with me for now. Do you agree?" Kolya jumped up and hugged Olya tightly in agreement. "Well, that's great. Soon I'll turn off the cartoons and you'll go to bed." Olya went to the kitchen, called her boss, and took a week off. She was going to go on vacation at this time a year ago. Then she was married, and she and Vladimir were planning a trip to the sea. But 3 months ago, her husband left her and went to another. Because Olya has not been able to get pregnant for 5 years of marriage, but the other one could, Olya refused to take a vacation because she didn't want to be alone in the apartment, at work, surrounded by people. It was easier for her, and now she's not alone. She needs to take care of the baby. 3 days before Nina Vasilievna's return, they arrived unnoticed. Kalenka and Olya walked a lot, went to cafes, to the zoo, and were happy. And what kind of pies Aunt Olya baked! The kid just couldn't tear himself away from them. Nina Vasilievna called. She said that Kolya's mother didn't want to hear about him, and his father was on a flight. And she warned all the neighbors to tell her when she saw Ivan. Those were wondering why she needed him. But she said that the faucet wasn't leaking, and she didn't trust anyone except Ivan. And so Olya and Kolya lived for 2 more days soul to soul. That day Olya baked pies again, and they were about to sit down at the table when the doorbell rang. Olya opened the door, and an excited man stood on the threshold. He looked to be in his early 30s. "Olya asked you to me?" "Yes. My name is Ivan. Nina Vasilievna told me that Kalenka was with you and gave you the address." Kolya, hearing his father's voice, ran to him and climbed into his arms. "Olya, thank you for saving your son. Please excuse the inconvenience. I will not return it to his mother, and I will file for divorce myself. I'll take Kalinka to my mother in the village. He'll be fine there." Olya became sad. She's so attached to the baby. He became her family. With hope in her voice, Olya asked, "And maybe have dinner? I baked a lot of my favorite pies. You're off the road. Have a rest, eat." 2 things he has accumulated a lot. It is necessary to collect. Ivan didn't know what to answer, and then he heard, "Dad, let's stay. Aunt Olya is good." Ivan was stunned and asked, "What did you say?" "Aunt Olya is good." "Olya, did you hear that?" He spoke. "Olya, you are our angel." He embraced Olya without hesitation and spun her around. They went to the kitchen to eat pies. Olya persuaded them not to go into the night, but to spend the night with her. A year has passed. Olya was walking through the park, where they liked to walk with Kalenka. Ahead of her, she wheeled in a stroller with a newborn daughter, and her husband was walking towards her, who took his son from kindergarten. "Mom, I missed my sister so much while I was in kindergarten." Olya hugged her son Kolya and kissed Ivan. They were smiling and enjoying the beautiful weather. Kolya cheerfully told that a friend in kindergarten told him that it turns out that a goat had a baby goat in the zoo, and he really wants to see it. The parents laughed and said that they were going to the zoo now. For their joy, they did not notice a hunched, homeless-looking woman on a bench. And she noticed them. It was Katya. The only thing she could do was to stare silently, hiding her eyes. That's the story. Do you think Olya did the right thing by taking the boy to her home? Please write your opinion in the comments.